Edo State House of Assembly don announce say dem don sack all political appointees wey dey work with dem members. Speaker of the House, Right Honourable Blessing Agbeba, could talk this one for plenary on Wednesday 19 February 2025 as im explain say all 24 lawmakers agree for the decision. E con still assure say the appointees wey dem sack go collect their February salary. The Speaker come also clear the matter, say the affected appointees na special advisers and senior special advisers wey the House members appoint when dem enter the 8th Assembly for June 2023. Say as the House don reason am well, dem don agree say after almost 2 years, this set of appointees go step aside effective from February 19, 2025, say dem go still meet later to decide wetin go happen next.
Upon our resolution as members of this House, so 8 were appointed, and various members of the constituency sent their nominees for their nominees. I think it's 2 years ago. I think the House has actually agreed that those set of appointees, SA and SSA, is hereby dissolved today. And we meet consequently to know the next line of action to take on that. Yes, and we should receive this month's salary, February salary. So thank you very much. The appointees, the SSS stand dissolved.
For the plenary, the Assembly also passed resolution wey tok say make dem transfer security personnel wey don dey for one place past 5 years for Edo State. Dis resolution follow motion wey Honourable Sezwa Ojizeli, the lawmaker wey dey represent Esan South East constituency, move as im dey draw the attention of the House to the security wahala wey criminal herdsmen dey cause for EDHA. The Assembly come also rule say traditional rulers go dey live inside their communities so that dem fit sabi wetin dey happen for ground.
Mr. Speaker, I have a motion of public urgent importance to move in this House this morning regarding the activities of kidnappers and the herdsmen in my constituency. Mr. Speaker, I need your permission to carry on, sir.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if you have watched me very closely before now, you will know that I seldom put on black. Today, I'm completely robed in black. Not because of any other thing, but for the fact that, Mr. Speaker, I am seriously mourning. Mr. Speaker, my heart is bleeding even as I am here. I only came here so that I will let the people of Edo State know what is happening in my constituency. Else, I would have been here today. Mr. Speaker, the activities of kidnappers has become all pervading in Eastern Southeast, especially in Ward 6, 7, and 10, which are subsets of the constituency. Mr. Speaker, just a few days ago, about 4 days, 5 days ago, right behind my house, a family was attacked at about 8 p.m. and the kidnappers went away with the mom and the guy's siblings, only for them to be released only yesterday after paying a heavy ransom. Also, Mr. Speaker, not long ago, a highly placed person, the Oloje of Udo Kingdom, was also kidnapped along that route in EDHA, was 6 and 7 in East and Southeast. Mr. Speaker, yesterday also, people were also attacked in their houses at Udapa, which is also part of Ward 7 in East and Southeast. It got to the extent that one of the man's sons was slaughtered. His neck was cut off. Despite that, they still went away with the man. Till now, we have not known the whereabouts of the man and some of his children. Mr. Speaker, it has become something innumerable. There are so uncountable cases like that in EDHA. And it's becoming too much for us to bear. Hence, I have deemed it fit this morning to let the people of Edo State know, and also to let you know that using your red chair, there are certain things, measures that could be put in place to, even if not to curb this activity, but to reduce these horrible actions of these men. Mr. Speaker, apart from the divisional police officer in EDHA, all other personnel, as it is now, Mr. Speaker, cannot be trusted, because some are there, they have spent more than 10 years in a particular place. I don't know, whenever they get transferred, they work their way back again to EDHA. EDHA is not a metropolitan town as such that to warrant somebody to want to always stay there. What are the amenities that are there that warrants them wanting to be there? Mr. Speaker, it's not that peaceful. While we were passing the bill, on the kidnapping prohibition law amendment yesterday, Mr. Speaker, out of joke, a colleague of ours made mention that I have not been able to visit my constituency for some time. Mr. Speaker, I didn't know it will come to that level. As I'm speaking with you now, it has gotten to that level, Mr. Speaker. I want you, having reiterated yesterday some parts of that kidnapping prohibition law, having it be amended yesterday, Mr. Speaker, I would want you to use your red chair to let the Commissioner of Police, Edo State, know that it is high time that those people who have been there for more than 10 years be replaced. Also, Mr. Speaker, I want to also reiterate in this chamber and also make it a point of action to be known to everybody that most highnesses in my constituency don't stay in their various towns and villages. They only come to Benin to enjoy themselves. At the end of the month, they go home to collect their stipends or whatsoever the emolument is they collect from the local government. Because I think they're supposed to be working for that their money they are receiving. There is need for them to go home and organize themselves. There is a need for them to go home to organize themselves so that they will do that work for which they are being paid for. Mr. Speaker, I know so many other people also want to talk about this motion, because I think the activities not only in Eastern Southeast, it's almost everywhere presently. Mr. Speaker, I want you to use your good office to do what is needful as far as this matter is concerned. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
We will not stop dealing with it, because every day it's getting worse and worse every day. So I think we have to find a way to eradicate it, if not completely, to an extent. On that note, most
situation that happened on yourself yesterday, I think there is a need. I had wanted to make a copy of it to everybody, but I think some people are allergic to this kind of thing. Hence, I kept it to myself. But I would want a cameraman to capture it. If possible, show it on their various news stations. This is the young man that was slaughtered yesterday in Ward 7 in EDHA. Do that part, to be precise, in East and Southeast State constituency. As we speak now, the guy has passed on yesterday evening. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.
Sure, Mr. Speaker, because for Osai, I recall some days ago, was it last week, when our colleague from the Webber raised an issue as to what happened to his highness. The follow-up later was that he was being invited by the police. It was shocking. As if we are here, we do not have the right to say what is real before the eyes of the public or in our constituencies. Mr. Speaker, the government this morning has just commissioned over 100 security vehicles, which are distributed to the various security agencies in this state. So we have to, from the army, from the police, civil defense, passing car, and different arms. Mr. Speaker, it should be a decision of this that these vehicles should not be taken as their personal properties, that should be used by their wives and their girlfriends, while people are suffering in respective communities. Because I want to say that if such a thing is done, you should have a way of checking it. If you see a security vehicle, who should even have a law for arresting the security person? That is the people of Edo State. Because our resources should be deployed in a way that will get maximum benefit from it. Because if you send 5 vehicles to Edo Central and none of those vehicles are seen in times of crisis, when they need it urgently, it is then the police will tell you that there is no fuel. Because before now, all we hear is that there is no vehicle. But His Excellency has gone that far now to provide vehicles. So I think that if 100 vehicles have been deployed today, the mass intention is to get about 500. And he has started with 100. This 100 should be seen to be effectively put in use. Otherwise, even the government itself will discover. So I think all of us should be watchful, should be on guard. If we see even our government vehicle by law security vehicle in a place that is not supposed to be, we should have a way of reporting so that we can remedy this kind of situation. Otherwise, the same vehicle just bought will be bought and will not be used and it will be granted very soon. Mr. Speaker, I believe that it's not only the police that can arrest persons. We should develop the attitude as citizens of the state to even arrest the police if they are not doing their work. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I represent the good people of Akukwedo constituency too. Mr. Speaker, you would agree with me that this is a recurring issue that we have discussed severally. The last time we discussed this issue following a motion, there was a suggestion that was tabled but we didn't follow up with. I would suggest to Mr. Speaker and my dear honorable colleague that time has come for this House to have a closed-door security summit where all members are seated, the security personnel, DSS, police, they are here with us, closed door, we discuss a solution and a way forward. Mr. Speaker, the urgency is because of what happened 4 days ago. We are at a point now where the security personnel have agreed that this problem is beyond them. There's a video circulating on social media. I shared it on our platform for members. The director of SSS in Nigeria, the Director General Adeola Ajayi, in a video stated that the police and the army cannot solve this problem because we have less than 400,000 police policing over 220 million people. It's not possible for them to solve it. He therefore gave an example, Azare in Bauchi and Tafa Balewa community in Bauchi. When terrorists went there, the retired soldiers, security personnel there, went quietly behind the scene, organized their people, armed them. The next time the terrorists came, the community confronted them and chased them away. That was the last time there was a terrorist attack there. So, Mr. Speaker, my suggestion is that at that security summit, we should be asking ourselves, how can we empower our communities and our people to fight back? Only a tree stand and allow someone to cut him down. In the whole of my ward, or also Ward 10, there are less than 3 AK-47. The police have only 3 AK-47 to police about 5 wards. That's the situation. So how do you confront them? Citizens are not permitted to carry ordained gun. So, sir, the way forward beyond long rhetoric is for us to sit. That is our responsibility. When we take the resolution, we can therefore ask the executive to bring a special appropriation bill. Let us vote money. Let Edo State buy enough arms. And the DSS have said they will give you permission. If a community or a town want to secure themselves, the DSS said they will give permission. Our governor is close to the National Security Advisor. We can get the requisite permission. Let's organize our vigilante and our community to defend ourselves. These are not crimes from our people. These are strangers coming in to invade our land. All the forests surrounding my village. I can't go to my grandfather's farm that I was going to as a child. I dare not. One of the young boys who joined my campaign last election was mercilessly beaten just behind his house by kidnappers. We paid 380,000 to grant to bring him out. So I appeal to us, sir, that Mr. Speaker, this is time for action. And I know your leadership is capable of doing that. Let this house convoke that special summit. We close the doors and we find answers. It's not beyond us. This is Edo. This is Edo. We were never conquered by anybody until the invasion of 1897. This is Edo. If our ancestors did it, we will be failing our generation if we can't defend ourselves. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I want to add my voice to the voice of other members that have spoken. Mr. Speaker, we are faced in our state with what is classified as terrorism. Because any act, anything that is done, or any act committed to instill fear, any act committed to intimidate, to disrupt social order, to drive in political, religious ideas, is referred to as terrorism. So what we are facing today is an act of terrorism in our state. It should not be taken lightly. Otherwise, they become even more bold. Before now, Mr. Speaker, kidnapping is what we hear from distance, but gradually it's coming to us in rapid succession because they are getting more and more confident in these activities this heinous crime will commit. Mr. Speaker, kidnapping goes along with organ trafficking. Organ trafficking is also an act of terrorism. We can't be faced with two items of terrorism and we are sitting as if everything is okay. Mr. Speaker, sir, one of the things that encourages kidnapping, an act of terrorism, is weak enforcement of the law. Weak enforcement of the law. We have been talking about kidnapping. We have been talking about even cultism. It's an act of terrorism. We have discussed cultism. We have passed anti-cultism law. We have discussed terrorism. We have passed Mr. Speaker, at the end of the day, if laws are not enforced, we are wasting our time. That's number one way to tackle terrorism or even heinous crime in our society. Then, Mr. Speaker, in order not to waste much of our time here, We know definitely that tackling terrorism requires the services of law enforcement, traditional rulers, communities, individuals. You cannot say the meaning of a kingdom is a king in his domain. That's the meaning of kingdom. So I do not really understand why somebody is a king somewhere and is resident somewhere different. Sometimes the absence of leadership in a community can encourage terrorism and kidnapping. Because there's nobody to give orders, there's nobody to organize them. So, Mr. Speaker, social order, enforcement of the law, these are two basic tools that we can use to tackle this act of terrorism that has become an epidemic in our state. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I'm supporting fully, in as much as I sympathize with those that have lost their souls. May their soul rest in peace. But to further stop further bloodshed, further act of terrorism, because we don't know the next person that will attack. If there's a neighbor of yam on the floor that belongs to the community, and the goat is eating from the periphery, and because your own is at the middle, you decide not to show concern. It's a matter of days. The ones in the middle will also be attacked. So the earlier we take decisions, stand by our decisions, the better for us, the better for our people, and the better for the state.
I join my other brothers that have spoken.
Why?
This has become a recurrent thing. I want to speak from the point of what has worked. Because there was a time we were in this situation in the state and in the entire country. Like my brother said, when we passed a resolution here to meet with the security agency, the chairman of the Committee on Security conveyed a meeting, and we met with them. No matter the grammar we speak here, what has worked in the past is where you have a coordinating body, which is the state government, the executive arm, bringing the police, the army, the vigilante together. Even the government house security apparatus, they went plus hunter. Because if there is nobody to coordinate the security agencies, whether we speak to the police, we speak to the DSS, nothing is going to work because there must be someone to coordinate. So my belief is that we need to, from our experiences, advise the executive arm to bring these agencies together. They go out for bushcombing. That time they did it. And that was how we arrested the situation in Edo State. I was attacked on my way to Uromi at about after 2, just after the Aneni farm. And when they come, they are shooting, you will think that they want to kill a bird. So we need to revisit what has worked so that, as a recommendation, so that we are not repeating ourselves and nothing is happening. I agree. So a stranger cannot come to our community. We use hand to cover our head. We are afraid because they have superior arm. So my take this morning is that all the agencies, I don't want to go that drug. is what is ravaging our community, our country. And we are quiet. They are selling drugs in all nooks and crannies behind our houses. Some are putting it on their house. And we are keeping quiet for them to destroy our community and our country. So this is what we are bound to have. An NDLA cannot continue to be the one in charge of drug control. So the National Assembly, they should take that to the concurrent legislative list, because the people that take drug, they are in our community. So that the state governments can be able to put up agencies that can deal with this drug issue, so that most of these problems we are having, we can take care of them.
Let's say that the very crude nature of the barbarism and the wickedness in the execution is alien to our people. On that note, I said, the charity I represent the very sagacious people of the North constituency. By God's grace, the majority leader of this wonderful house. Only yesterday, this house, with unison, not only condemned the Malay called kidnapping, yet we resolved that it must be stamped out by the legislative department. Much as we were unison about the law, which harshness in application is nothing compared to the crudeness of the execution that is carried out by these marauders. We did not resolve the issue of pursuing to capture of this wicked people. So, in view of that, I want to wholeheartedly, with my full chest, support my brother from the Southeast, that not enough to have us, we must also have enforcement. The enforcement mechanism must be enhanced to the extent of being able to pursue these wicked persons and send them out of our land. As I said earlier before I started talking, that the crudeness of the execution of the wickedness of our people is alien to us. It is not in the culture of our people in Edo to behead another person. It is not only gory in vision, but it is disturbing. And I want to urge all the persons who are responsible for the security of this state to take this as a very major challenge. We must, as a matter of urgency and determinedly, comb our forests. Our forests are not too many that we cannot go through them. Let us focus our energy on the right thing. Let the army, let the police, let these other security agencies, our vigilante group, form a unison in going through these bushes and ensuring that any alien inhabitant, anybody that cannot stay in our township, should not stay in our bush. So let us make it a matter of state policy that even if you have to farm in our bushes, you must have accommodation in our town. If you cannot come and stay at home, please don't stay in our bushes. And that is where the observation rightly made by the member of the Eastern Southeast comes to mind. Our traditional rulers should offer that leadership that makes them to bear the title. Being a traditional ruler means you are the head of the community, and that means you should stay in that community. If you are a head of a community that people should orderly come and report incidents like this to, but you have to be called on phone. Whereas you are staying in one street as assistant of your way in Benin City, then you are not fit to bear that name, because there is a force that is connected to that costume that they occupy. They also have the power and the right to call the youth of the community to arms, assuming matters like this are happening. So when things like this happen, who is going to call others to come up out and chase those people who are coming to invade our land? I want to reiterate that I support this matter of state public importance, and I also want to urge me that everybody support. I also want to urge that we take this very seriously. If possible, the resolution should be communicated directly to the various security agencies that this house. We should say it directly to them that we are not just making resolutions for the sake of it, but we want those resolutions to have the force of law. Let there be a follow-up action on them. I'm very, very disheartened at the gruesome murder of the young man who was beheaded in his place of ascension. Assuming this man went to another place now, this thing happened. So where was he going? A man is beheaded in his house. That is the worst I've ever. And we are safe that we condemn it with all the force. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
For another matter, the House Compass Bill will go establish Edo State Road Funds and the Edo State Road Funds Board and Administration. This new law will help provide better funding for the management, planning, development, rehabilitation, construction and maintenance of Class C and Class D routes, plus the rehabilitation of Class B routes for the state. The Assembly come still pass another bill wey establish the Edo Rural Access Road Agency. The agency go dey in charge of the management, development, rehabilitation, reconstruction and maintenance of Class C and Class D routes for Edo State. Make una no forget say, as we see am, na so we dey talk am. We no dey take blame. From Edo State House of Assembly, Ekata Ojisele, TMC TV News.